I've hit the live button. Live video is starting. And I don't have a drink. Oh well. Okay, you are now live. Awesome. Hello. It is Wednesday, September the 17th. You are tuning into the Quilting Shed weekly live video here from Fredericton, New Brunswick. And it is 1 week to the shop hop. Oh God. So, what's a shop hop, you might ask? Well, I will tell you. Please note, I didn't organize anything. I'm just a participating shop. So there's a Facebook group out there called the Shop Hop NBNS for New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. And all it started was a group of friends decided to do a shop hop here at home in the Maritimes instead of going outside of that. And they wanted to keep it local. And they decided it would be even more fun if they let other quilters know what they were doing in the spring. For spring? Yeah, I think, was it April? It was April. Okay, so yeah, it was the spring. And we just kind of threw it together last minute, and people decided, yeah, it'd be fun to do it again in the fall. So it is still pretty casual. Sometimes if you've participated in a shop hop elsewhere, sometimes there are things you collect from shop to shop. We aren't that organized this year. Maybe it'll happen someday. But it's more about community and discovering new shops, and of course, spreading your money around locally. We will be having things here too. Lots of sales coming up. Oh my God. And yes, I will put those sales also online because our point of sale system is the back end of our website. There's an app that goes with our website, and that's our point of sale. Like, in one way, it's super techy, but in another way, it's not really. So if I want to mark things down here in the store and have them ring up at the sale price, it shows up on the website. So hey, if you're all disappointed that, oh no, I can't do the shop hop, and you will miss out on like just the camaraderie and the fun of going around and meeting people, and even if you just stay in your local shop, you know, you
debates over where to go for lunch.
Yeah, you get to debate over where to go for lunch, what else you're going to see while you're here. If you do travel to Fredericton, you haven't been to Fredericton before, across the street from me is a gift shop called Tweedside Road. Shout out to them because they are the ones who have the bear statue on the corner. So you come up the Hanwell Road, there's a bear statue on the corner on your right-hand side. I'm like, turn at the bear. And people are like, what is she talking about? And then they come to find me and they see the bear statue and go, oh, I get it. I get it. Yeah, it's a bear statue. He wears costumes sometimes. Yeah, I still haven't contacted the lady who owns the shop to see if we can, maybe for that weekend, put a quilt around the bear. That would be fun. That would be fun. Shout out from Heidi. I did see your comment, Heidi, about it's a good thing we shifted half an hour earlier because Heidi is 2 time zones ahead. And probably the sun is just coming up where you are. So speaking of camaraderie, I know sometimes I come on here and I say, hi quilting friends, hi fabric nerds, quilting people. But yesterday it was very, very quilting friendly in here. And my husband was like, did you have a good day? And I'm like, yeah, actually, we really, really did. It was very visity. It was very visity in the shop. And even one of our regulars said, I just came for a visit today. And that's fine. And she had brought some Quilt As You Go blocks to show off, which were fantastic. She's using all of her Tula Pink scraps with a black background and squares, and it's more complicated than just a string design, but she's like really talented. Everybody, you're like so talented, you don't even know. The bear quilt is a good idea. No, Mom, the quilt on the bear. Okay, so anyway, Mom's got it. So she was in, and she made friends, which is great because one of the things people look for too when they're quilting is community. And that was kind of the theme of the day yesterday. She came in and she was like, I'm in Fredericton for a couple of weeks because she lives up in Woodstock and she comes to Fredericton during harvest time. Not harvest festival, but potato harvest. If you know, you know. Shout out to those potato barrels. So she's trying to find her quilting community. So while she was here, she met another quilter who was also here kind of for a visit, and that was Helen. And Helen and her had a great chat. And by the time she left, Helen was going to pick her up for the guild meeting last night. And then another lady walked in, and it turns out Helen knew that lady and recognized her from a place that they used to work together. I'm trying not to get into too many of the private details, just in case the people are like embarrassed and, respecting their privacy at all. And Helen was here for a good long visit too, and a couple of other friends swung by, and they got to make friends. One of my dear friends, she was making friends with the older ladies, and it was super cute. So she was all happy about that and sharing their work and talking about, like, really geeking out about like the English paper piecing and the La Pascaglia, whatever I can't pronounce, but the big, yeah. A couple of people, one lady had done that, another, my friend wants to work on that and has started it. So yeah, it was a real like community thing, and it carried on through the day because that afternoon another regular came in. It was a day of regulars, and some new people came in, and she brought her granddaughter, and her granddaughter had her baby in her sling, strapped to her. Cute baby. That baby was cute. She was all smiles. It was great. So eventually the baby came off the mama and was passed around a little and got to clean my floor a bit. I joked about, putting some microfiber cloths on the baby and letting her crawl around the floor and see if she could sweep up a little. That's our unofficial shop rule. Unattended children will be trained to clean. Hey, she was down with that. This was her fourth baby. She was like, yep, sure, let her have it. So that was great. So Mama got to shop, and her and I got to discuss, the perfect backing for her quilt and figure out the math for that. Pretty much interrupted, and not have to worry about the baby being taken care of by, grandmas and aunties and whoever else was around. Yeah, I said interrupted. I said interrupt. I meant to say uninterrupted. Very little interruption. So yeah, it takes a community to make your quilt and raise your kids. So it was just really, really great. And sometimes I have people who hang out here who just want to hang out and help out with the shop. And Kathy was here yesterday helping out, and I'm super grateful for her community too. Turns out she left her grapes in the fridge and said I could have them because girls got to eat. They all know it. I was listing the contents of the fridge because I was telling somebody, yeah, we have food here in case you're hungry, and I started listing everything off, and they were like, you eat like a college student. Yeah, and I eat fine when I go home. There is actual real chicken in the fridge today. I did put it in the fridge. It's not just sitting on the counter. So, what have we got for you today? Because we've got to geez, time is wasted. I joke. So Helen was in yesterday, and sometimes, because she drives a long way to get here, and she has early morning appointments sometimes. So she has more than once shown up here at like 9:30, and I've let her in. So I told her yesterday, Helen, if you're watching, we all love you. She's laughing. I know she is. I told her yesterday, if she shows up at 9:30, I'm not letting her in. I cannot let her in till 10 o'clock. I will turn the camera so that you all can see a little old lady outside banging at the door, hoping that I will let her in. But no, I will be doing a live right now. So we've got new fabric. Woohoo! And some of the new fabric that has come in it's Christmassy, but it's kind of winter Christmas. And
it's way more winter than Christmas.
It's way more winter than Christmas for us here. But if you are British, if you're from the British Isles or from the UK, this is very much Christmas for you because it was a UK based company that did this fabric. Imports to Canada, but whatever. Cute little robins. Look at that. I love little robins. Second favorite to chickadees, and I love Blue Christmas. There's that one. And there is this lovely print. My friend Joe is going to really like this. Lina says, Helen is a doll. Yes, Lina. When Helen was in yesterday, somebody kept going on about her purse, and we were all saying how lovely a purse you made for her. This is beige. It's reading a little gray there, but it's beige with the little robins. And then the pine trees, spruce trees, pine, whatever.
It's pine.
It's pine. And more robins. feature print. So we're going to look for some blenders that go with this because this is the collection. It's a small collection, but you can do a lot with this. You can throw in some blues, greens, grays, little bits of reds,
And it's shown
some
on the website too.
browns. This is available on the website. Do you remember how much it is?
15 a meter.
It's only 15 a meter. Oh my God.
Yep, really good price.
So these are like $4 fat quarters. Holy jeez. That's amazing because a lot of the new Christmas fat quarters are $6. So yeah, frugal Christmas. So I really did enjoy those, and those were ones I'd forgotten I had pre-ordered, which is kind of hilarious. And just super quick before we get to more fabric, a few things that got back in stock. These have not been in stock for a while, but the crazy clips, they're off-brand, so they can't say Wonder Clips.
Exactly.
But it's a package of 50 for $20. I know, right? I didn't get any Glide Black when I ordered it. They were out, so I've been hunting for replacements. Here's a couple things you can try. The Superior So Fine. This is very fine. What weight is it? 50 weight. 50 weight. It is in black, 50 weight. Also good for bobbin work if you need something finer in your bobbin, and it is polyester. Good for custom quilting. 3,280 yards, and that is $29. Lasts a while though. And the Omni thread is the 3-ply poly wrapped core for your long arm. That is also black. That is 30 weight, so this is a little thicker, and that's 6,000 yards. And I can't find a price tag. Okay, $23.20. Woohoo! So so I do have some black thread for your long arm to try. This one is a marking pencil that is new. And it's got it's a mechanical chalk pencil, and it's got the mineral chalk in it, which does wash out fine. But it's in a very big holder like this. And look at all the leads that you get in with it. So this, I really like the mechanical chalk pencil that's very, very fine, like an actual pencil. But a lot of people find that hard to work with, and it tends to break if you're not careful. Or if you have a heavy hand. So this is a little thicker. See how thick that is? And Lucinda recommended this. Lucinda's comes in weekly for sew day. And if you're in on a Thursday, she also likes to help put the bolts away when she's trying to tackle a problem or she's mad at the sewing machine or her current project. So she has one of these, and she recommended I get it in because it's amazing. And it is $30, but she's working with hers, and she bought it like 10 years ago. And she still has plenty of leads left. So this will be like, this is the part where I say I'm a terrible shop owner, because you buy one of these, you don't need to buy another one for an extremely long time.
The same could be said of ladders.
The same could be said of ladders?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, how many ladders do you sell to a person? Yeah, it's got like a little pencil sharpener in there and everything. But yeah, it's really good. Lucinda has used it in the classroom to rough out what she wants to quilt, and then she does her free motion flowers on that big quilt she's making. I got this in through the summer. Didn't even do a social media post. Started a sample. It's kind of tucked away hiding. It's not even in a very good display. But we got in the Lori Holt Crazy Quilt Paper. Look at that. And it irons on like freezer paper, and there are 42 pieces, so you could put one piece on every sheet in your layer cake, but you can even stack these, and if you peel them off carefully, you can reuse them again. You just follow the directions. You stick this on a 10-inch square. You cut on the lines. And you mix up all the pieces. You sew them back together again. You've got yourself a really nice crazy quilt that didn't make you crazy. And that's $12. I know. I'm that good to you. Some books that came in. This is only a small selection of the new books that came in. This one is the Pocket Guide to Fabric Pre-Cuts. We've had this before. It's very good if you really like pre-cuts, or you want to get into pre-cuts, but you want a handy-dandy pocket reference. This is amazing. Oh, wow. Ooh, 1-yard bundles, how pre-cuts are made. What? Common pre-cuts. This is actually a wealth of information. 5-inch square. You should come in and see how that works. Speaking of pre-cuts, we got some books. Fun with Squares. I love it when the quilters are in some, not just new quilters. There's some experienced quilters who's like, I do not work with triangles. They confound me, and I get it, bestie. I get it. I just want to say though, look at that. It's chickens on a runner. So this is fun with squares, and these are patterns that I'll use 10-inch squares and 5-inch squares, your layer cakes and your turn packs. Look at that. 1550. How did I manage that? 1550, and I think we have more than one copy. Sometimes I will get sale books in. My supplier will have a sale, but they'll have very low amounts, and I will only wind up with one or two. That's how that happens. I know I got a lot of copies of these ones. For the love of pre-cuts, this is very good. And it's $21. See what I mean? So this uses like your jelly rolls and your layer cakes and 5-inch and 10-inch squares. Possibly, oh, that one uses fat quarters. Possibly even in combo. That's another fat quarter one. Jeez. Good Lord, people. Fat quarter, fat quarter. Okay, then the jelly roll. Okay. Sometimes in books like these, you'll get like combos. It'll say buy a layer cake and a charm pack and then mix them. Very, very good if you're looking for new ideas. And again, Annie's Attic, this year's Christmas quilting, festive stitches, 9 holiday designs. So more Christmas quilts in here, but like I said, you can take any quilt, put Christmas fabric in it, and now it's a Christmas quilt. Ta-da! See, look it. We really like this one right here. Pixelated tree. Love it. Mm. Mm. Mm-mm. Mm. Either not enough coffee or too much coffee. So while we were looking at wide backs, I went through and I'm sorting my piles here, but what I wanted to talk about. I went through, so we're prepping for this big old shop hop, and anything that's doesn't have a lot left on the bolt, we've been wrapping up and pricing just to help make room. So the Tula Pink Fairy Dust wide back, the one we have that's in cream is the cotton candy color. I took that off the bolt, and what was left was 52 inches. So it's not showing on the website as on sale, but I will give you 20% off if you buy all that's left of this wide back, which is 52 inches, which is not a lot, very wide, but it is 108 inches the other direction. So that's available. We also have it in the other color, which is a little grayer than that. We have lots of that one. But if you wanted this particular color, come get it. And also the Cafe facet wide back I had with the big dahlias on it. All that was left of that was 107 inches by 108. You take the rest of that, I'll give you 20% off. And okay, now we're getting into the new stuff, and I might need my assistant. What happened to the sales shelf? We cut fat quarters.
Yeah, but why are they all in different places?
Kathy put them away. We're gonna blame Kathy for that one. I might have shown this, I might not have, but we got in some bandana fabric. Looks like pink bandanas. So that's very good. Way too late for powwows and things. That would be a good ribbon skirt fabric though. Yeah, you're just gonna have to help me push things down so I can reach them. I know I said I was standing up. I'm not gonna.
I've moved these over here for you.
Oh, you moved those up. Oh, thank you. And we did get some indigenous totem poles. I'm always concerned. I'm like, but this is West Coast. And people are like, no, it's fine. We'll take it.
We have 10 minutes, by the way.
We have 10 minutes. Oh, okay. We're doing fine. I always feel like I'm rushing now. And I tried really, really hard not to put too many things out for me to go over. It was really hard to edit myself because there's always a lot to show you. So last week, a lot of stuff came in, and we're still trying to make room to get it on the floor. You can see them on the website. It's just, on the floor. Kathy cut all these fat quarters for me yesterday of the new Banyan Shadows colors, the batiks that I have that are the basics, the Banyan Shadows. They're from Northcott. They're very high quality. How much for the Tula Pink? I don't know offhand, Mom, but I will let you know. So there's another darker navy. There are a lot of browns and beiges in here that you can see, but there's a couple. They did the new colors. They are a little up in price. There's a darker purple, and there's a few more grays. So yeah, the previous Banyan selection didn't have as many of these neutral colors in it. think that's an olivey dark green. Woo, another yellow. But one of the good colors they did this time was a solid black batik. That is very black. It doesn't have the mottled in it. It doesn't have a hue of another color like a purple or a navy or a green. Sometimes you will see because the dyes are actually made up of other colors because that's how black works. But this is actually pretty darn black, and it doesn't have a pattern. So if you needed a black batik, I have it. I have it now. But yeah, you got to see some of these new colors. And this other one, this one. That's one of the new colors. I'm not sure what they called it, but we're kind of a little obsessed with this color right now.
Black rose, I think it's
Black rose. Ooh. And another cream-ish color. Yeah, so that was like a black rose. I would totally pre-wash this because the darker colors do tend to run in batiks across the board pretty much wherever you get them from. And I'm just going to throw those out of the way. Boom. I went crazy pre-ordering wide backs because we kept needing this and that and the other thing, and now we have too many wide backs. But this one came in. Look at it. Look at it. And we had one like this it's digitally printed. It's photographic quality. We had one that was all succulents, and that went over pretty well. So this time I got in, this is called Forest Floor. It's all leaves and things you would find in the forest. And it's very green and organic. And there's little pine sprigs and cedar sprigs and berries and leaves. And it's absolutely glorious. Ta-da! You're going to really enjoy that. So, last but not least, one of our new fabric collections, the Great Outdoors from Northcott. It's very scenic. But, so landscape quilters, if you want to create a scene, or if you're trying to add things to a quilt that you're working with and you want more of a pictorial quality to it, I find that people look like, for this kind of fabric, if they've got like a panel of the Great Outdoors with like deer or something in it and they want stuff to go around the outside, there's a free pattern for this line that I put in the newsletter, and I thought those middle panels in the free pattern, they did like 4 rectangles. I thought if you had a stairwell and you wanted to just do panels of small wall hanging quilts that were like long and skinny, this would be amazing. Sort of like reflect the view that's outside your window. They had 4 types of scenes. But we don't have a desert here in Canada, so I didn't order any of the desert-themed pattern.
We have a desert in Nova Scotia.
We have a desert in Nova Scotia. Yeah. Really? Where?
It's very small.
It's very small. We don't have a desert climate. We don't. This was very southwestern, so I didn't order it.
It looked like Arizona.
It looked like Arizona is what I'm trying to say. So some of the, I keep calling them panels, but they're not. We're going to cut them as yardage because it's like a panel that does running yardage. And this is the beach. It's the beach. I'm sure you're familiar with the beach if you live here. Ta-da! And, you know, the sky. So you've got the sky, the ocean, the sand, the shells, and all that. And it has, like, the matching ombres that go with it. This is...
Oh, that's just a stripe.
It's kind of like a stripy ombre. And I will show you some texture in a minute. And some seashell. And we have some existing naturescapes. Stuff that goes with it. And things like the Toscanas and the canvas and the Stonehenge. They will automatically match all this because it's Northcott. This one, the Meadow.
Yes.
And how much were these?
Finding that out right now. $18.40.
$18.40 a meter. Not bad. That's pretty good. I was going to guess it was 20. This is the Meadow. My mom will like this because it looks like her yard. So you've got the scrub down here, possibly blueberry fields, going up to your bushes along the hedgerows. The hedgerows, those little strips of bushes and stuff between your fields. Yes, exactly. I didn't think this through, showing this. I was going to stand up. Yeah, and then the sky again. So that's very nice. Oh, geez. Dun, dun, dun. There's that one, and then this one is more, what is this? The mountains. The mountains, or hills, wherever you are. I love it when I tell people there's mountains in New Brunswick and they're from the west, and they're like, those are not mountains. I'm like, okay. Lina says, save her some of the beach. Yes. So this reminds me of another collection, this one here, that we had in the old shop from Northcott. So it's got like the trees. Look at that. And it does have the mountains in the distance, which they could be. I like how they're not necessarily western mountains. They look like, if you're driving to Woodstock, they look like you can see the mountains over in Maine through the woods. Yeah, they did. I like what they did here. And of course they've got the forest print that matches. You can have the forest near the beach or near the meadow because they match. The colors match. There is some inky watercolor textures. I'm only showing you a little bit. You can see the rest of it on the website. And a bit more of the meadow, the country meadow. Look at that. So yeah, that's what we're loving. And here's more of the blender sort of ombres. That's like a green one. Look at that. I think the price point is great, and you can get pretty artistic with this. And that's another one of these ombres was more blue. This has more of the greens and the browns in it. I think people are going to make some spectacular quilts with these, even if they only add like portions. So that's my tip for you today. Sometimes you can go through your stash and incorporate some of the newer fabric with some of the stuff that you already own, and it's almost like you only paid for half the quilt. Yeah, it's quilter math. That's exactly how it works. So yeah, I'm about ready to wrap it up, and we got 3 minutes to open. I feel on the ball. I mean, it's going to change in 20 minutes, but for today's video, I think I did pretty good. Pat me on the back. Thank you, community, and thank you for watching. If you're at work, get back to work. Boss is coming. I appreciate you, and I love to see all the quilts that you're working on, because your work is actually amazing, and you're doing a great job. So I will see you later. Ta-da! Ta-ta for now. Right, I'm going to click the wrong button. Goodbye, 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 bye, bye, goodbye.